the top, it's time for a new video to drop. And today, I'm playing WWE 2K22, but I want you to envision yourself back in the year 2003, October 27th, 2003. In fact, you turn on your PS2, you pop in a brand new wrestling game, and all of a sudden you hear that, chit. Now come on, and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain begins. You start up a season mode and you jump right on in, because today we're playing WWE 2K22 Universe mode, but the roster is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. As you see right now, our starting World Heavyweight Champion is Triple H. The Dudley Boys are the World Tag Champs. We got Christian as the Intercontinental Champion, RVD is our Hardcore Champion, and Trish Stratus is the Women's Champion. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, Kurt Angle is the WWE Champion. Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin are the Tag Team Champions. Eddie Guerrero is your United States Champion, and the Cruiserweight Champion is Rey Mysterio. All of these guys have renders. I don't know why they're not popping up. Universe mode a little buggy. Speaking of buggy, we can't have the month of September, which, if memory serves me correctly, that means we're not going to have the Unforgiven pay-per-view. It's not letting me create a pay-per-view in September. I don't know why. The game a little bit buggy, as I said. Before we jump into our first pay-per-view of this sim, make sure you hit the like button right here, right now. Can we get 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours of this video being uploaded? I think we can. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button today, because we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Big Show is our big cover athlete for the Judgment Day pay-per-view, which is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. And we're kicking things off with A-Train defeating John Cena in a steel cage match. We got Matt Hardy defeating Eddie Guerrero to become the brand new United States Champion. Rikishi defeats Rhino. Sean O'Haire defeats Tajiri. We got Rey Mysterio retaining the Cruiserweight Championship against Ultimo Dragon. The Undertaker is the new WWE Champion, defeating Kurt Angle. And in the main event of the evening, Big Show defeats Brock Lesnar and Edge in a triple threat match. What a pay-per-view to kick things off with. We got a bunch of new champions. We're now in the month of June, which means it's Raw's turn at bat with Bad Blood, and Triple H, the World Heavyweight Champion, is the cover star for this one. But we kick things off with Booker T defeating Lance Storm. We got Trish Stratus defeating Stacy Keibler for the Women's Championship. I'm sure the Deadlockites will love that one. We got Stone Cold defeating Kane in the Battle of the Bald Heads. We got them dang Dudleys defeating Batista and Ric Flair to retain the World Heavyweight, or the World Tag Team Championships. Oh my goodness. Right after that, RVD defeats the Hurricane to retain the Hardcore Championship. We got Christian defending the Intercontinental Championship against Scott Steiner. After that, Chris Jericho defeats Randy Orton in a steel cage match. And in the main event of the evening, we got Triple H defeating Goldberg to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. So, if memory serves me correct, all the titles got retained. Yeah, they did. Wow. So Raw is definitely different than SmackDown right now. We head into the month of July, and Matt Hardy version 1 is the cover star of Vengeance, which is a SmackDown pay-per-view that kicks off with Brock Lesnar defeating the Big Show. We got John Cena defeating Sean O'Haire. Rhino defeats Edge. We got Tajiri defeating Chavo Guerrero. Kurt Angle wins back the WWE Championship in a steel cage match against The Undertaker. Rey Mysterio defeats Ultimo Dragon for the Cruiserweight Championship. And in the main event of the evening, A-Train defeats Matt Hardy and Rikishi to become the new United States Champion. So A-Train's the U.S. Champion now, and he needs to shave that back, let me tell you. We have arrived to the first co-branded pay-per-view. Raw and SmackDown will be featured at Summerslam, the biggest party of the summer, and Triple H is the cover star. So let's go ahead and take a look at SummerSlam. We kick things off with A-Train versus Matt Hardy for the U.S. title, with Matt Hardy winning the U.S. Championship right back. The Hurricane is the new Hardcore Champion, defeating RVD. We got Christian defeating Test and the Testicles. We got Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin defeating Eddie Guerrero and Rikishi and a little bit of brand on. No, that's SmackDown. Never mind. I lied. We got the Dudleys defeating Evolution to retain the World Tag Titles. Lance Storm defeats Booker T. We got Sable defeating Tori Wilson. Kurt Angle defeats The Undertaker for the WWE Championship. Chris Jericho defeats Randy Orton in the main event of the evening. Goldberg defeats Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. Remember, there will be no pay-per-view for September because Universe Mode won't let me make one, so we're going to skip over Unforgiven, sadly. We have arrived at the SmackDown pay-per-view No Mercy here in October, and Edge is the cover star. Is Edge going to get a WWE title shot? As we go into this one, Big Show defeats Tajiri in what I'm sure was crazy. We got Kurt Angle defeating The Undertaker for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar defeats Chavo Guerrero. Ultimo Dragon is the new Cruiserweight Champion. We got Rhino defeating John Cena. A-Train defeats Matt Hardy for the U.S. Championship. In the main event of the evening, Rikishi defeats Edge in a Hell in a Cell match. Now, why? We've arrived at the next co-branded pay-per-view, Survivor Series, here in the month of November. So let's take a look at what's going to happen here as Kevin Nash is our cover star. We go right on into it, and Christian defeats Test to retain the Intercontinental Championship. We got Triple H defeating Kane. Brock Lesnar defeats Chavo Guerrero. Shawn Michaels is the new World Heavyweight Champion as he defeats Goldberg. After that, Val Venus is the new Hardcore Champion. We got Edge defeating Rikishi. We got a huge Survivor Series tag match with Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Booker T, and Scott Steiner defeating Lance Storm, Goldust, Rico, and Steven Richards. After that, Big Show is the new WWE Champion defeating Kurt Angle. A-Train is the U.S. Champion defeating John Cena. And Stone Cold has defeated Kevin Nash. It's time for yet another Raw exclusive pay-per-view as we move into the month of December. It is time for Armageddon as Val Venus is the cover star for some reason. We're going into it, though. We got a TLC tag match with Evolution versus them dang Dudleys, but Evolution pulls out the win. I wonder why the titles weren't on the line. We got Lita defeating Trish Stratus to become the new women's champion. That Lita render goes crazy, by the way. We got The Rock defeating Stone Cold in what is a huge match. Somebody get Limp Bizkit on the track real quick. We got Scott Steiner defeating Lance Storm. Triple H defeats Kane. Booker T defeats Chris Jericho. Christian defeats Test to retain that Intercontinental Championship. Shawn Michaels defeats Kevin Nash to retain the world title. And in the main event of the evening, Val Venus defeats RVD to become the new Hardcore Champion in a TLC match. It's time for another co-branded pay-per-view as we arrive to the Royal Rumble. Who's headlining WrestleMania 19? Let's find out. As we go into it, the Dudleys have defeated Evolution. Sable defeats Tori Wilson. Goldust defeats Kevin Nash. Val Venus defeats RVD in a last man standing match for the Hardcore Championship. Rhino defeats A-Train. We have the Men's Royal Rumble match. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Shawn Michaels for the World Heavyweight Championship. Big Show defeats Brock Lesnar for the Undisputed Championship. And in the main event of the evening, Christian defeats Scott Steiner for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, who won the Royal Rumble? Let's find out. It is Goldberg. Goldberg is heading to WrestleMania. We're now into No Way Out territory, which is a SmackDown pay-per-view in the month of February. Let's go ahead and take a look at this February card, though. Rhino has defeated A-Train. We got Rey Mysterio defeating Chavo Guerrero. Ooh, Chavo! After that, Kurt Angle defeats Edge. Tajiri is the new Cruiserweight Champion, defeating Ultimo Dragon. Tori Wilson has defeated Sable. We got Charlie Haas defeating Rikishi. Sean O'Hare defeats John Cena in the main event of the evening. Big Show defeats Brock Lesnar to retain the WWE Championship. WrestleMania is upon us, ladies and gentlemen, in the month of March, which means obviously this is a co-branded pay-per-view headlined by Lita, it seems. Are we going to get a women's championship triple threat in the main event? That's what I'm thinking. We're going to move right on in, though, to Tori Wilson defeating Sable here in the opening contest. Tajiri has defeated Chavo Guerrero to win and retain that Cruiserweight Championship. Christian defeats Scott Steiner to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Val Venus defeats Rico to retain the Hardcore Championship. John Cena defeats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We got Goldberg defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin for the World Heavyweight Championship. A battle that never happened, happening here at WrestleMania. What a time that is to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. We move on, though, to Kurt Angle defeating Big Show for that Undisputed Championship. Thank you. We move on to Rhino defeating A-Train in the main event of the evening. Lita defeats Victoria to retain the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. History has been rewritten. It's now time for a Raw exclusive pay-per-view in Backlash. This is the month of April. We got a opening contest of Victoria. All the things she said, running through my head, winning the Women's Championship, defeating Lita. We then have Lance Storm defeating The Rock? Huh? What happened? Who but Brian Gerwitz? What happened? Oh my goodness. Nevertheless, Christian defeats Scott Steiner yet again for the Intercontinental Championship. Steven Richards defeats Kane. Yo, Brian Gerwitz is off the sauce tonight, let me tell you. We got Shawn Michaels defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got Batista and Ric Flair defeating the Dudleys for the World Tag Titles. RVD defeats Triple H in the main event of the evening. Goldberg defeats Kevin Nash to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it 1 year, but I want to go another full year. So let's go right on back to Judgment Day, a SmackDown-only pay-per-view here in the month of May. And we're kicking things off with Tajiri defeating Chavo Guerrero. Ultimo Dragon defeats John Cena. We got Eddie Guerrero defeating Rikishi. Edge has defeated Sean O'Haire. Kurt Angle has defeated The Undertaker in a ladder match. We got Big Show defeating Brock Lesnar, and Matt Hardy wins the United States Championship in a triple threat match against Rhino and A-Train. We're now in the month of June. A Raw exclusive pay-per-view is on our hands. Bad Blood is here, and Goldberg is the cover star. So as we go into it, we got RVD defeating Triple H in a steel cage match. Val Venus has defeated Rico for that Hardcore Championship. Randy Orton is the new Intercontinental Champion defeating Christian. We got Victoria defeating Lita for the Women's Championship. The Rock has defeated Kane. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Shawn Michaels. Batista and Ric Flair defeat Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray Dudley. Kevin Nash defeats Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship in our main event of the evening. We're heading into a SmackDown-only pay-per-view here in the month of July, and we're kicking things off with Torrie Wilson versus Sable in a steel cage match. After that, Sean O'Haire does defeat John Cena. We got The Undertaker defeating Edge. Chavo Guerrero wins the Cruiserweight Championship against Tajiri. After that, A-Train defeats Rikishi. Matt Hardy defeats Rhino to retain the United States Championship. Kurt Angle defeats Big Show to win the WWE Undisputed Championship. And in the main, that was the main event of the evening. I thought there was one more match for some reason. Oops, stupid dog. We are at yet another co-branded pay-per-view. This time it is SummerSlam. We're in the month of August, of course. Kane, the cover star. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening here. We got Val Venus defeating Goldust for the Hardcore Championship. Almost said Undisputed. Oh my goodness. Randy Orton defeats Chris Jericho to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Kevin Nash defeats Lance Storm to retain the World Heavyweight Championship, but I kind of wonder what world it would have been like if Lance Storm would have won the world title here. Nevertheless, Evolution does defeat the Dudleys for those tag team titles. We got a huge 8-man 4-way tornado tag that the world's greatest tag team win. After that, Test defeats The Rock in a steel cage match. Scott Steiner defeats Triple H. We got Kurt Angle defeating Big Show for the WWE Championship. Sable defeats Torrie Wilson in the main event of the evening. We got Goldberg defeating Kane in another Battle of the Bald Head. Once again, September does not have a pay-per-view because the game will not let me make a pay-per-view in September. It is now time for the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, No Mercy, here in the month of October. So without further ado, John Cena is the new United States Champion, ladies and gentlemen. We got Rey Mysterio defeating Tajiri. Edge has defeated Brock Lesnar. Sean O'Haire defeats Rikishi. Kurt Angle defeats Big Show in a Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. We got Chavo Guerrero defeating Ultimo Dragon for the Cruiserweight Championship. And Rhino defeats Charlie Haas in the main event in a Hell in a Cell match. For what reason? I don't know. Welcome to another co-branded pay-per-view Survivor Series. Kane is the cover star, so let's go ahead and take a look. Wow, that's a huge opening match. Triple H does defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin, though. We got Victoria defeating Stacy Keibler. RVD defeats Shawn Michaels, as RVD is kind of ascending the ranks, I hope anyways. We got Randy Orton defeating Scott Steiner for that Intercontinental Championship. Kurt Angle defeats Edge for the Undisputed Championship. I wish Edge would have won that, man. That would have been awesome. Evolution defeats those dang Dudleys for the tag titles. We got Charlie Haas defeating Rhino. Oh my God, they just did it! Lance Storm is your World Heavyweight Champion. What just happened? Lance Storm is the new world champion of Monday Night Raw. I cannot believe my eyes. Oh my God. Nevertheless, The Rock has defeated Test. In the main event of the evening, we got a huge Survivor Series tag match featuring Kane, Goldust, Goldberg, and Rodney Mack, defeating Chavo Guerrero, Ultimo Dragon, Matt Hardy, and A-Train. So Raw has defeated SmackDown in the main event of the evening. We're back to another Raw exclusive pay-per-view, Armageddon, with Christian being the cover star this time. But as we go into it, Stacy Keibler has defeated Victoria. We got the Hurricane defeating Rodney Mack. I'm so sorry about that render, man. Like, there's no Rodney Mack renders that I can find other than that one. I apologize. We got Lance Storm retaining the World Championship against Kevin Nash. RVD defeats Shawn Michaels. Randy Orton defeats Scott Steiner to retain that Intercontinental Championship. Triple H defeats Kane. Goldust is the new Hardcore Champion. The Rock defeats Goldberg. And Christian defeats Chris Jericho in a TLC main event. We are at the Royal Rumble, which of course is a co-branded pay-per-view. I don't know why Goldust is the cover star. I think the Hardcore title is going to main event. Wow, what an opening match. Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker in an Extreme Rules match for the WWE Championship, and The Undertaker has won the WWE title. Randy Orton is still your Intercontinental Champion as he defeats Scott Steiner. We got Chris Jericho defeating Christian in a last man standing match. Stacy Keibler defeats Victoria. Lance Storm defeats The Rock to retain the world title. We of course have the Royal Rumble match. Oh my goodness, those dang Dudleys are the tag champions again as they defeat Evolution. We got Eddie Guerrero and John Cena defeating the world's greatest tag team for some reason. And after that, Val Venus defeats Goldust to become the Hardcore Champion. Now, who won the Royal Rumble? It was... Wait, what? It's not gonna tell us who won the Rumble? Okay, well, I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. We're heading into February, which is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, and it's No Way Out. So what's going to happen here on No Way Out? Rhino defeats A-Train. We got Matt Hardy defeating Edge. Big Show defeats Brock Lesnar. Tajiri defeats Ultimo Dragon. The world's greatest tag team defeat Eddie Guerrero and Rikishi. We got Chavo Guerrero defeating Rey for the Cruiserweight title. John Cena defeats Sean O'Haire for the U.S. title. And it looks like John Cena gave that title a little facelift. He gave it a spinner. That's really dope. I kind of wish that was an actual thing in Universe Mode and I didn't have to do it myself. I wish you could kind of do that. That'd be really sweet. It kind of take like that custom side plates thing to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, to each their own. In the main event of the evening, The Undertaker has defeated Kurt Angle to win and retain that WWE Championship. It is now time for WrestleMania 20. That's right, we're in the month of March. Raw and SmackDown will be featured, and The Undertaker, the current WWE Champion, is the cover star. So let's take a look at WrestleMania 20, where it all begins again as Rhino defeats Charlie Haas. We got Lita defeating Victoria in what I'm sure was a barn burner, no holds barred match. Let me tell you, bro, Victoria and Trish Stratus had a wild hardcore match back at Survivor Series 02. I'm sure Lita and Victoria would have tore it up in a hardcore match as well. We then move on. What am I looking at? At WrestleMania 20, it is Lance Storm defeating Steven Richards for the World Heavyweight Championship. My eyes don't deceive me. I'm baffled. How is that the world title match? Did Steven Richards win the Rumble or something? I don't know. But nevertheless, Lance Storm is still your World Heavyweight Champion as we move on to Val Venus defeating Goldust at WrestleMania 20. We got Randy Orton defeating Chris Jericho to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Those dang Dudleys defeat Evolution to retain the World Tag Titles. The Rock defeats Kane. Goldberg defeats Triple H. And in the main event of the evening, The Undertaker defeats Brock Lesnar for that Undisputed Championship. It is the last pay-per-view of the year of this second year sim, and it is Backlash, the Raw exclusive pay-per-view, with Lita being the cover star of this one. We move into Lance Storm defeating Steven Richards for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know what's happening to Raw, bro. They in the dirt. Rodney Mack has defeated Triple H. That's awesome. We then have The Rock defeating Kane. Randy Orton defeats Chris Jericho to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Val Venus defeats Rico for the Hardcore Championship. Batista and Ric Flair defeat Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley for the tag titles. We got Goldberg defeating Kevin Nash. In the main event of the evening, Stacy Keibler has defeated Victoria and Lita to win the Women's Championship. I simulated an entire year to get to WrestleMania 21 since the logo is in the game. We're going to look at this last show of the sim, WrestleMania 21. Both shows, of course, Raw and SmackDown are here. Goldberg is the cover star. Let's take a look at what's happening. Oh my goodness. Please win, Edge. Please win. Man! Brock Lesnar defeats Edge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I was hoping Edge was going to win that. Ultimo Dragon defeats Tajiri for the Cruiserweight Championship. Goldust defeats Rico for the Hardcore title. Kurt Angle defeats Rikishi. We got Lance Storm defeating Kane. Triple H defeats Steve Austin. Booker T defeats Scott Steiner for the Intercontinental Championship. We got Stacy Keibler defeating Lita. And Goldberg defeats Kevin Nash. Now, what are the champions, man? Like, where are the titles at? Hold on. Who are the champions on Raw? Let's find out. We got Goldberg as the world champion. Batista and Ric Flair as the world tag champions. Booker T as the Intercontinental champion. Goldust as the Hardcore champion. And Lita as the women's champion. Meanwhile, let's go take a look at SmackDown real quick and find out who the champions are here. Brock Lesnar is the undisputed champion. The world's greatest tag team of the tag champions. Rikishi is actually the United States champion. And Ultimo Dragon is the Cruiserweight champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up our sim today of SmackDown. Here comes the pain. Comment down below more games that you would like to see me take their rosters up and put them in today's WWE game. Run them through my GM and universe mode. This was really, really fun to me, man. This was absolutely a blast. Thank you all so much for tuning into this one. And as always and forever, take it easy, though, guys. Peace!